Y'all, it's Chris Weathers, aka Shorty C94, back at you again, episode 67, Shorty Sneaker Conversations. So, we back, try to get a hold of our guest, get this thing going. What's up, Carl? What's up, Kicks It Fits 216? What's up, T Marsh? Just sent you the invite there. What's up, man?
What's going on? How you doing?
Man, just trying to get like you, man.
Oh man, let me see how to oh there we go. All right, bet. No, man. I'm trying to get like you, man. Shoot.
Hey, still fucked up from that battle, pulling out Dornbeckers and all kinds of shit, man.
Man. I tried, man. I knew stretch was tough, man. So I tried to go a different route, man. Then I got too cute towards the end, man. It's all good though. It's fun. It's fun, man.
Yeah. What up, Stretch Kicks? You here? What's up, D Will from the South? Your girl Zay, Super Cat Sneaks. Hello, everybody joining. King Space. All right, man. So, like I sent you, man, the way the show works, it's like a basketball game. You know, we're gonna do the pregame, which is you introducing yourself, telling everybody what you do, where you're from. Sneaker Origins is quarter one. More recent sneaker pass, quarter two, halftime. Quarter three is sneaker present. Quarter four is sneaker future.
All right, I'll try to see what I can do.
Ah, good. You good? So, part of the pregame, I always ask people is, what's the most positive thing you've been able to take from the world since the pandemic started?
Man, for me, honestly, man, it's just slowing down and, just kind of slowing down, taking it day by day. Before pandemic, we were just kind of running, moving. We weren't, how we are now is like we're cautious about everything. Like if we're gonna go out, I've seen times where, we're gonna go somewhere and we're like, we'll stay in, or we'll just, I think now since the pandemic is just slowing down is probably, just thinking it out, thinking things through, trying not to do too much. But I see, as things starting to open back up, we're still staying cautious about everything, still, minding your kids and stuff like that. So I think the biggest thing I've taken away is just kind of slowing down.
Okay, for sure, for sure. All right, before we go any further, I see that's a Hornets hat. You are from Charlotte, right?
Yeah, well, that's where I'm at now. I've been here about three years or so. It's probably 2019.
Okay,
Originally from like the Raleigh area. That's where I was prior to moving here, and then I went to college in Greensboro. But I've been here about 3 years now. I was saying like the Huntersville area. Yep.
okay. Whose autograph is that on that hat?
So I'm a season ticket holder for the Hornets. It's like my second or third year. So right here is Devontae Graham when he played, and then on the brim you can see a little bit. You can see MB4. I mean MB0. That's Miles Bridges up there too. I want to
Okay,
say, yeah, I want to say PJ Washington's up here too, but my son he wears this hat sometimes too. So it's that was kind of his whole he's a big Hornets fan, so he's like my driving factor. Being with the Hornets and things like that. So we support. I try to get him out to the games and everything like that. So
okay, okay. I
yeah,
respect.
it was a couple prior to the pandemic. They used to have like different events for the season ticket holders where you can go get autographs and different things like that. So that was like some different family things. Like I got like a basketball up there with like the whole team. This one like Marvin Williams was on the team, had like the whole team sign it and everything like that. So that's pretty cool.
Gotcha. I used to have a set up with the Cavs because I'm from Cleveland. Um,
Ah,
yeah, I live in Mebane, North Carolina now.
okay.
Which is kind of in
I
between
passed.
here and where you at.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
know,
passed through that. I passed through Melbourne all the time, like going back to Raleigh or going to Goldsboro where my mom's at, coming back and forth to Greensboro and stuff like that. So yeah, passed through that through the outlets and everything. That's like one of my stops at the it's just a Sheets right there off that exit where I think the outlets are. Where that's kind of like the halfway point for me where I can kind of stop in that area.
yeah, that's like kind of right where I'm at. Yeah. So it's I do miss Cleveland. I really was missing Cleveland this past weekend because of All Star, but
Yeah.
I really I enjoy being down here. It's definitely something different. We've only been here since 2020,
Okay.
so still getting used to some things. But I've been to Charlotte a lot of times. Especially Concord. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
the last few times I've been to the Nike clearance store, but I mean, I done found some shit in that that boy
Yeah.
pipe too. Like,
Man,
whew.
I go in there. I go in there every now and then. You find some good gems. I was doing it when I was well. I still play a little bit, so I always can go in there and find like some good cheap Kyries. I can go hoop in and stuff like that. So yeah, I like that place.
Sure. Now, before we get into the first quarter, well, I haven't even actually let you introduce yourself. I apologize. Tell
Oh,
everybody
no
who you
problem.
may not know.
I'm T Marsh, Tori. A lot of people call me T Marsh, Tori Marsh. Um, like I said, originally from like the Raleigh area, just moved to like still in Huntersville, Charlotte area. Um, Big basketball guy. Collect shoes, wear shoes. Been kind of I was off and on with it. Fell in love with it. Fell out of love with it over the years. Just love sneaks. Love talking sneaks, hoops, and everything. Sport, anything sports. So I appreciate you having me on, man. This is real cool. I'll be checking your the shows out, man. So I was glad when you reached out. I was honored, when you reached out. So I was like, man, I got to definitely try to get up on there. So dope.
And I appreciate that, man, for sure. Now, the last thing I have to ask you before we get into quarter one is what shoe did you wear today?
What shoe did I wear today? It was actually some beat up Jordan 11 lows. Um, I'll let you take a peek at them. Hold on one second. Yeah, yeah. I think these are like 2014. This is some of my favorite pair to kind of by the doors.
Oh, okay.
The infrareds. I remember when these first came out. My youngest son he had just started walking, and I got him a pair, I got myself a pair. My oldest son, he's 15 now. I think probably at the time he was about maybe 8 or 9, and we all three had a pair, and that was like real cool. So I always kept this shoe. This is like one of my favorite shoes, just to grab by the door, and just because my youngest son now, his school is like right across the street, and I work from home, so it's just something to just kind of throw on, walk across the street, go pick them up, and come back. So yeah, that's what I had on today. I didn't do too much today.
Now, I remember that release day for those was kind of hectic because it was so many Jordans that came out that day. I remember those came out. It was like two twos that came out. It was a purple two and a green two. That
Yeah,
for Jordan 1.
I
And
think I had that purple too. Matter of fact, I think I probably got it around that same time. That was that whole infrared. They was kind of popping that infrared out because I think the infrared sixes had just come out like previously, and they were
yeah,
popping. Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, 2014 was definitely the year they probably used the most. They call it infrared 23. That little,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, that was But then in addition to all those shoes, the champagne and cigar came out that same day. So that was a long day for me. I had two X's over my eyes like a cartoon that gets beat up after that
yeah,
was over. So I was like, God, it was everywhere. Tablet.
yeah. That was like right around the time where I was in the game, out the game, in the game, out the game, sort of thing. I wasn't really collecting like I am now, or like I have been over the last couple of years. I was just kind of buying them. I always buy to wear, but now I have shoes that I haven't even worn.
Mm.
But now I have shoes. I have like my favorites that I know I can go and get. But then like some beaters, but I still have like now. I didn't have as many shoes like upkeep, that I have now. So I was kind of in and out. I remember having the maybe like 2012 the breads and having those, and I remember just selling them because I was like, I'm not even wearing them. I remember just letting them go for at that time for pennies, pennies. Like I think it was under retail, and I wasn't even, at that time the resale wasn't like heavy like it is now. So It's just crazy, and I know, but now I just got crazy pairs just sitting around now. So I wish I still had that 2012 pair.
I see a lot of pairs behind you, man. It's a lot of heat behind you there, man. You know,
I'm working with a little something, man. A
uh,
little something. I don't have as many as you have. I've over the last couple of years, I've converted to like a lot of the cases. I still have some boxes. I try to keep like the boxes that have like meaning and different things like that, and the ones I know that I'm definitely not gonna get rid of. So, but I still have some in boxes. So.
yeah. Well, I wore these today. I'm still trying to wear the last few Black History Month shoes I got left. You know, holding on
Oh,
4 years from Cleveland when the Cavs were the Cavs. I mean, they're playing good now, though. I will say that.
yeah.
I'm
Surprisingly, even it's caught LeBron's out because I think he wanted to go back.
I don't even want it to happen, man. Like it's strange because I'm a Lakers fan. I grew up a Lakers fan.
Yeah, me too.
First got into basketball. The Cavs were okay. They were becoming good, like around the time that Jordan hit the shot on us.
Hmm.
But Magic and Worthy and Kareem. I mean, those were the players that introduced me to the game. Of course, Larry
Yeah.
Bird on the other side. So I've been with the Lakers. My dad and I follow them together. But I still be wanting Cleveland teams to do well. But anytime I went to see the Lakers at Quicken Loans, or well, now they call it Rocket Mortgage, I always wear
Hmm.
my. That's my team. I even have a Lakers tattoo with my dad's
Oh
name on
man.
it. But
Oh
you know,
man, that's dope.
yeah, but I still be wanting the Cavs to do well. If they're not playing the Lakers, I always gonna root for the Cavs. And it's so serious with Cleveland sports with me that even though we've moved down here, since I never, we never let DirecTV know that we moved. When I turn on TV, I look at Cleveland TV.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so it's a way to not have to pay extra to watch the Browns or the Cavs or
Uh huh.
you know
That way you
so
can keep a little bit of home with you.
a little bit of home. I
Yeah.
disregard if I look at the news, I have to disregard the weather. You know what I mean? But other than that, don't. So
Yeah, man.
good.
That's what's up, man. That's dope that you get to do that, man. I know it was cold over the weekend, but what'd you think of the All Star, like the All Star weekend stuff?
Man, I really wish I could have been there, but I'm glad, Cleveland really put on a show. Um, I've always felt like Nike didn't always show Cleveland love with LeBron, and then with LeBron and Kyrie. But I mean, they had
Yeah.
a little guide to Cleveland on the sneakers app, places that I've patronized for years, restaurants and stuff like that. So it was cool, man. And then Cleveland really put on the show. Um, when the All-Star game was there last time, I was in high school, and it was right before I
Hmm.
started working. But once the tickets got a little bit too high for me, I was just like, yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, but they really look good. I knew a decent amount of people that actually got to go to the game and go to the events. The highlight for me was seeing Karl Anthony Towns win three.
Mm.
Never seen a big guy, win like that.
Yeah.
The dunk contest needs some revamping, but
I just feel like they need to get. I don't. If they revamp it, I think they need to get more players, like better players. Like they had Cole Anthony in there, and he's probably dunked maybe 5 times this year. I think if they can get a Ja Moran in there, or
exactly.
somebody that kind of a crowd drawer. I like Obi Toppin was good, but because everybody the level of competition was so low, he was kind of like half doing it and everything. So you get like a Zach Levine, Ja Morant, somebody,
See,
yeah,
I could even live with Zach Levine not doing it because he's done it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah,
everybody, like, come on, man, come on.
yeah, man. I was let down a little bit. I was pulling for Van Vliet on the 3-point contest. I thought he was gonna do better than what he did, but I thought the 3-point contest was good too, man. I like that, man.
Yeah, it was good. A star won. I was happy for that.
Yeah.
So as we jump into the first quarter, sneaker beginnings. So I usually start off with, what is your first sneaker memory?
First sneaker memory. I remember. I even have a picture in my sneaker room in here. I was like 7 years old. It was like '88 All Star Weekend, and I think I was like you said. I was growing up with my stepdad. We used to watch. We loved the Lakers. I was a Lakers fan. I was a Magic Johnson fan. Like I love Magic Johnson. You know, the no look, Showtime. I just love, just his pizzazz on the court. And I remember being 7 years old and watching that '88 dunk contest. And I was like, man, who is that? I was like 7, so I played basketball, but that was the day that I was like, okay, Michael Jordan is who wanted to play basketball. Like, it's just everything about him, the way he walked and everything. He just drew a crowd. And then the next thing I noticed was those shoes and those Jordan threes, man. I was like, okay. I begged my mom to get me a pair. She never got me a pair. But that was like my first taste of like shoes. And I remember, I think 2011 being in Florida at like maybe a mall or something. And that was when they released those. They had the Jordan 3, the white cement. And I was able to get them. They were like sitting on the shelf. And I was able to get a pair. And I still have that pair, but that's like a pair that I'll probably never get rid of because it just brings more. I have the free throw line pair, but like that pair, it's kind of beat up, but that's a pair that I'll never get rid of, man. That's really like what kind of brought me into like the whole sneaker culture, even because I wasn't. I think when the '85s, when the Breads and the Jordan ones came out, I was a little younger, so I wasn't really knowing about like the whole. I learned about that later about the whole controversy with the sneakers and everything like that. But me knowing things and knowing like kind of putting the two and two together as far as playing basketball, that was kind of the moment, of just seeing him out there, with those Jordan threes on. Like that's like my favorite silhouette of all time. Man.
Okay. But I had to ask you, man, as someone who was also 7 years old during that dunk contest, man, what's your secret, man? I need to get like you, man. I'm all gray and whatnot.
I just I just probably I got a haircut last week. So and I don't get a lot of hair on my face, but if I take my hat off, you can see I get it cut real low. But I had my daughter had a cheer competition in Atlanta this past weekend, so I got my hair cut for that. So that's the secret. I just get it cut. I try to keep as much as I can. That's not great.
Yeah. So you were born in 1980 as well?
I was born 81. So,
okay.
Yeah, 81. So I was around 6 to 7 or 8 in that range. Yeah.
Got you. 99?
Yep. 99.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Told everybody how old we are. You know
what
I'm
saying? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I know how you feel about the Submit 3, but what was that next shoe that really got you, interested beyond that, where you like, all right, I'm in this now,
I would say after that, because I didn't get them, I think when I started playing travel basketball, just playing basketball as I got older, I would say it was around 94-ish. That's when I was like maybe 7th, 8th grade, getting ready for high school. That's when I really had to have basketball shoes to play. And that I remember I got into like the Fab Five. So it was that the white Huarache that they wore. That was like one of my next phase, like those Huaraches. And then I saw them wear the Air Force Max, those Barclays.
Yeah.
So I remember initially Chris Webber, they were like Jalen Rose was wearing the Huarache and Chris Webber had on a different shoe. And I was like, what shoe is that? And had the strap. He had the white pair on. And I was like, oh, okay. And then they switched to the black socks with the black shoes later on. And I was like, oh man, that they changed the game for everything. Like, even though they didn't beat Duke and everything like that, but that was like the next phase was like getting into like the Nike basketball. Cause I love the Jordan 3, the Jordan 4, and the 5. 3, 4, and 5 for me, like, that was like I love those shoes. Just the way they look, you can wear them with anything for me. And then it was just that next phase was that Nike basketball, just learning about like some of the history. So that was Huaraches and those Air Force Max was kind of like that next phase.
Yeah, I love both of those shoes. I have a pair of original Huarache Flights from '92. I got them on eBay and maybe 02 or 03. But they're still wearable. I guess the way that they're made, they can't crumble. That that Force Max, I had the 2001 retro, but when we moved down here, a lot of those older shoes didn't make the trip. You know what I mean? So a lot of them were
Yeah.
crumbling. I unpacked them, but that Force Max, it's really it's what I call in the sneaker vortex because you know how some shoes will come out and it's not about if you have the money, you just can't find them or find them for a good
Right.
price. And
Yeah.
many times, because that shoe is retro 3 times, it's very hard to find that 2013 one with the 3M
Mm-hmm.
swoop. And I had them, I had like
Oh.
pairs and pairs of them at the store I was running at the time, but my old one pair was still wearable. Now that it's not, I can't. I can find a pair from '07, but it's a wear risk because it's, you know what I mean. It might not
Yeah,
work.
you never know. Yeah.
Yes.
That was that. I just love that suede. Now I think I couldn't get them. I didn't get them. I got a pair of the Hirachis, but a friend of mine had that black pair, and I just used to love that suede on that pair. It just looked so clean, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
then seeing them with the black socks, I was like, oh man, you know that was kind of that seventh, eighth grade had to have them, you know, wanting to get them, but I
Oh
never
yeah.
got them. Yeah, I think right after that, it was like '96. My mom bought me those up tempos, those Nike up tempos with the black at the bottom, and they had the black swoosh, those basketball shoes. I did get those. I wish I had another pair. I remember seeing Derek Fisher wear a pair of those when he put with the Lakers. I was like, yeah, I remember having those shoes. Yeah,
Those were like his unofficial shoes. You know, they made that Lakers pair for him.
yeah, they
Retro
did.
times. But
Yeah.
okay. Sneakerhead Dread 71 said, "Man, y'all babies." Sneakerhead Dread, born in 1971. I would be like a sneaker Thanos. I would have all old. You know what I mean? Like I would be unstoppable if I was born in 1970 or 71 instead of 1980. I'd have A's,
Yeah, man.
all kinds of stuff. You know, in the cut, Lottos, Elise, all that old stuff.
Tonics, everything,
Iconics.
man.
Well, you know, they did get the you know, it's crazy. I've had the retro of the Hakeem.
Yeah.
I can't really figure out the right thing to wear because I have Hakeem's jersey, but it's from the throwback era, so you know how big it is. It's like a 60, so I can't really. And I'm not really willing to buy another one. So, oh man, I need to get a Rockets shirt or something. So, you know, 'cause I done had those
Yeah,
shoes for at least 3 years, and I've never worn them because I don't have the right thing to go
the
with them.
right thing to go with them. I think
Yeah.
I had one of those Dikembe Mutombo jerseys. It was the retro Nuggets jersey on this past weekend, and I was
Mm-hmm.
looking. I got those Diodors, the conceded pair. I wore
Oh.
those over the weekend. I was like, man, one of my guys, 10.5. He had the Iverson jersey like that, and I was like, man, with those shoes. I was like, I had to find something nice to go with those shoes. So I was
Mm-hmm.
able to find that Mutombo jersey. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if Stretch Kicks is still in here, but he had asked a little while back, how many pairs you think you're working with now?
Man, I don't even know. I had the last time I counted, man, it may have been like a couple months ago. I think my mom was here. She's like, "How many shoes?" Are we did count. It was like in this room, it's like at least 230, maybe. And I would say I have like some in my main closet, but this like my little office space. But I would say I've trimmed down a lot. I've gave my son wears the same size as me now. So he's 15. He wears 11. So I've given him some shoes recently, probably about 2 or 3 pairs. Every now and then he'll come and grab a pair of the ones that I've already laced up because some of them are not laced up. But I'm now more of a kind of like what I really want type of, sometimes it was one point I was just getting shoes just like, oh yeah, I was every release I was like I had to get them, but then now I'm kind of like, all right, I can pass up on some things and then just kind of get what I really want. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, what's the first shoe or shoe outfit combo you had back in the day where you really broke necks or turned heads with it? Do you remember?
Oh, I had yeah, I had those cement threes that I had in 2011, and I had they when I got the shoes, back in the day when the Jordans would come out, they would have like the outfits that matched the shoes. Like it was like be like a whole setup in Foot Locker or your shoe store. So they had like a set. It was like a short set with the cement on the side, like some Jordan shorts, and they had the jacket, like the track jacket. But I would never wear all three at the same time. So I wear like the jacket with with like some black jeans or something with the cement threes, or like in the summer I would wear the shorts and then wear the shoes, with a different like a Jordan shirt. So like that was the first time because I was on my own then, so that was like one of the purchases. I was like, when I got those cement threes, I was like, yeah, it's going. I think I was working at maybe probably like a call center or something, and then Friday was like casual Friday, so you could wear like shorts or whatever, or you wear like jeans, dress down a little bit on Friday. So I would always bring out those cement threes, and and that jacket, that track jacket. I think I had a picture, but I have those. I have the here's the shoe. This is what it looks like now. It's the 2011 pair, and it's kind of cracking in the midsole, but I used to bring out this shoe on like a good casual Friday, and have that jacket on, and you'll be good for getting up, going to lunch, and seeing everybody say, "Oh, okay, you got those Jordans on," or stuff like that. So you always get looks like that. So I still laugh with some of my old friends about that. They used to love seeing me come with those Jordan threes.
Good shit. Good shit. Rogers Boy 26 said, "How do you view this new sneaker era?"
It's crazy, man. I never thought, people would be like I think what kind of got me out of the game, so to speak, was like the 2012 camp out for the Concords. That I was like, come on, man. And then I remember camping for those 2012 playoffs. And I felt like I was too old to be standing out there in line with some of the young kids, and then they breaking out fights and stuff like that. So I view it like it's crazy, but it's like I'm still young at heart, where I like if I see something that I really really like, I'm gonna go try to get it. I'm probably not gonna do like camp outs and stuff, but like we're in the era of computers and bots and different things like that. Everybody's trying to get that advantage on getting the shoes, and then you have like dunks and SBs that that's coming back, or people that's trying to get it. It's crazy. Like I've never thought that the resale would be as high as it is for certain shoes. I just it's wild. I would say just this era is wild. I was wondering. I was talking to my friends the other day. Like I wonder if things will start to kind of level out as far as like resale and different things, or just the availability. And I think when COVID happened, I think before COVID, I was getting like pretty much anything I wanted to get from like a release standpoint. But with COVID, with some of the different shipments and stuff, it just kind of made it even harder, because it's just tough.
Okay. I will say, touching on that, even when COVID started, I always say the first 3 or 4 releases were still easy to get. The
Mm-hmm.
purple ones, the DMP6s, the Fire Red 5s. That
Mm-hmm.
Flint 13 is when everything changed.
Yeah, that's
That
probably like the last easy one that I was like, okay, I was winning. I was getting the finish line raffles. I think it was those denim threes had come, and then like you said, that Flint 13. I was like, yeah, I'm good. And then next thing you know, it was like, nah, you didn't get this one. It's like, hey, you hit that thing come across, it, dang. I was like, oh man, and now I'm like, it's like the guy asked him, like a lot of times I'll miss on different things, and if I really want it, like I'll wait a little bit. And goats kind of being like my go-to, like for different releases that I really 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 want. And
got you, got you. Now, as we end out the quarter, my last question, for back in the day was, when you were young, who were some of your sneaker or outfit influencers? Was it somebody on TV? Was it somebody in the neighborhood, a relative, a sibling?
man, Fresh Prince, Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I used to love that show. I always used to wait and be like, see what shoes he's gonna wear. and then he would always show up at like All-Star weekend with like different shoes that's not out or we hadn't seen. You know, I just used to love just seeing what different shoes he's gonna wear. Um, you know, growing up, it was kind of, you know, I used to see you have your different like guys that's older than you. Anybody that played basketball that was like older, that was real cool, they always have like the cool shoes, the cool outfits that I was never able to obtain, and my mom would never buy. So it's just like the local guys at the boys club or at the gym. They would always come in with the shoes on their fingers and everything, coming in, and you know that. But I think from like from TV, I can remember waiting from waiting to see like what Fresh Prince, what Will Smith's gonna wear on like the next episode.
Yeah. I'll agree with you there and just say, you know, like for me, that there were rich kids at the school that would get all the kicks too, you know,
Yeah.
but that product placement on TV, Martin, Fresh Prince, A Different
Mm-hmm.
World, Held, Home Improvement, Blossom, they all had the Nikes, and I wasn't young.
Yeah.
I was so young, I didn't realize, oh, that's product placement. They gave those shoes. They gave
Mm-hmm.
them shoes rather, so you know, we want them more.
I I remember being like maybe fourth grade too. Now that you said that, was like you said, the rich kids. There was a guy in my class. He was one of my best friends named Omar Taylor. Every release, you know, whether it be, I remember him having like when those Reebok pumps was coming out, the Omni highs. He had them all. I remember he had those the Jordan 5, the black cement, those like, and we were like fourth, fifth grade, and I knew I wasn't gonna get them. I'm just here with like the shoe show Nikes and everything like that. So, but I remember that, you know, when you speaking of the rich kid, like, you know, he was real down to earth, real cool guy. It's like one of my best friends. We still talk, but I always be like, man, I used to hate you when you had those Reebok pumps, and you had those. You know, he had them all, man. He had all the shoes,
Yeah, and then you know, the age we were in high school, you know, by the time you got to high school, it was the rich kids and it was the dope boys that went to
man.
your high. Because I remember this one kid, man, and I ended up working with him later at, you know, this boutique in Cleveland. This nigga, I swear, from the beginning of like 10th grade, 96, 97, he didn't repeat his shoe until October. Like, and that was right before I started working. So that was like in my head. I was like, I gotta be like John Nance. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be like John Nance. I gotta I mean, everything. Barry, you know, I mean, we're in the same grade, so you remember how great high school was for us as far as shoes. Ninth
Yeah,
grade, probably the best, followed by 10th, 11th, and then 12th would probably be the worst.
yeah,
But
yeah.
um,
Because that was
yeah,
like right after Jordan retired, and everybody was like, you know, everything. I think I remember after that, after '98, it was kind of like down for me too.
especially for Nike basketball. Like
Yeah,
the best thing about 12th grade as far as shoes was the penny, the penny four, and I say that kind of just because as much as I love that shoe, even now it's hard as fuck to get on. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but you know, retros, them really starting retros, May of '99 with the black and red for it. You know, that'd be in the first one.
yeah.
$9.99 retail. Never gonna see anything like that again. So,
Man,
uh,
I missed that.
yeah, yeah. All right, so
I remember like even back then in like I was like '98 when like the Flint 13s came out. I remember playing basketball, and we had a team shoe. When you go back to like the Dope Boys, that we had I forget what shoe it was we wore as a team, but it was one guy that was like he was the big guy on the team. You know, I remember the releases being during the week at that time, and
that.
I remember, yeah, and I remember
Mm-hmm.
we used to play on Thursdays, and he would always come in with the new head when he came in with the 13s. You know, everybody was like, oh man, you know, you get to walk out on the court with those, and I was like, I didn't have them, but I remember that. You know, he when you're the big guy on campus, you pretty much gonna get anything you want.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
13 will always be special because that was the first shoe. That was the first Jordan where I bought every color, just because
hmm
I had a job. Like I finally had a job, so I was like, man, I'm buying every fucking thing, man. Fuck these, killing them. Tommy, every. Nautica everything, polo everything. Let's go. Put Becca in there. Oh man,
Man,
yeah, good times. Oh man.
man, there's some dope good times, man. Good gracious.
Well, we'll jump into the second quarter. More sneaker pack, which is kind of where we're at now. So, all right, you get your first job. Well, what was your first job? Starting out.
Man, I was working at Burger King, man, and I had to get. I was in high school working at Burger King, and I think I want to say I eventually I don't know which I forget which shoe it was that I bought first, but I really wasn't in the shoes at that point. I was just trying to get me a car, and my mom was like, you got to keep up with your insurance, stuff like that. But I remember working at Burger King, and I don't remember what shoe it was, but I wasn't really like buying shoes at that point like that. We was mostly in the we'll wear like some Air Max or different things like that, but we wanted to have like polos, like you said. We'll go up to there's a outlet in Smithfield, North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, and we'll go to the polo outlet, and we want to have a polo jacket and a polo just to wear to the county fair, stuff like that. And I would borrow shoes when a friend of mine, his brother, did his little thing as far as like, did his thing on the side, and we would always borrow his shoes. We were like these Timberlands. That's when like they had like the green, like the forest green, and then it was like a Timberland. It wasn't like it was the field boots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were wearing like the Timberland field boots, and that to get those beef and broccolis and all those, we were into that, and it was just a crazy time. And I remember buying I think it was the Grant Hill around that time. It was like a Grant Hill shoe that was out. Um, and I remember wearing my friend's brother's shoes. He had those too. They were like probably maybe a size and a half too big, but we didn't care. We were still wearing them anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember those days. I ain't even gonna lie.
yeah,
Back when I started working, I was hustling backwards, man. I wasn't even thinking about a car. I was just trying to get the sneakers. Which now looking back at it, I'm like, man, I was wild. But I'm like, man, I could buy whatever I want. I ain't gotta ask Bob or Dad. You know, they can't tell me nothing. This my buddy. So yeah, I was hustling backwards there for a little while.
I was I was beating up shoes, man. It was like at that time I didn't really care too much, man. Uh, I was like I remember getting those '96 breads, man, and I still have them, and I remember but they're like they're real beat up. I probably couldn't even. I actually The funny thing is like we after that battle, I remember having those shoes. I remember the last question was like, show you a pair before 2006. And I
Mm-hmm.
knew that I had shoes, but I didn't have them here. My mom, she keeps everything. So she had like, a lot of my shoes and stuff, back home in Goldsboro. And then after that battle, I was like, hey, mom, can you check the storage and see if those shoes I had in there? So I had her send me a couple shoes, like some of those older shoes that I had. It
Nice.
was like some couple trainers and it was some bread 11s in there. I was like, good gracious.
Yeah, that question was actually my question. I feel like Marcus, Polos and Jays got that for me
Mm-hmm.
because I used it in my battle with Coffee with the Foe.
Oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Coming
yeah,
before 2006. So yeah,
yeah.
shout out to Polos and Jays. I got Aaron Shoeboy up in here. Shout out to everybody else in the chat. Got Stretch Kicks. Everybody, man. Thanks y'all for joining us. Um, okay. All right. So, we're still in the era back then. What were those clothing brands you was rocking with the kicks?
Oh man, we was wearing, like I said, with the polo, we would probably get like a good champion jersey. I remember they started selling like those the USA Olympic jerseys. We were
Mm-hmm.
wearing like those jerseys with like what was it? It was like some. We were trying to wear like some. We weren't really wearing Levi's, but it was like we were trying to get those big baggy Jabot jeans, man. we were wearing stuff like that. Like I remember one of my best friends. He would always wear like jogging pants. He had like the polo jogging pants. So I always just try to steal his style. Where like I couldn't get polo all the time, so I get like Nautica. You get stuff like that. So we're wearing jogging pants, those big baggy jeans. Those I remember wearing those big Jabot jeans, and that's like one of my friends. His brother was like kind of one of the big dope dealers down the way. So he would always kind of look out for us. He'd have clothes, and he's like, yeah, y'all can pick from that and get some stuff. So my mom was like, where did you get that stuff from? I was like, oh, my friend gave it to me, so we're all good. So.
Yeah. Parents be lurking like, wait a minute, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's stuff like that, like polos. Like we hit up, we get chaps. We're wearing like chaps. We're wearing chap shirts and stuff like that, man. I always try to keep a good New York hat. Even though we weren't from New York, but we just saw everybody else doing it. We'll wear like a New York hat.
Yeah. Hey, I got a story about chaps. So, in Cleveland, before Macy's bought them out, in Cleveland, Macy's used to just be called Kaufman's. So I used to work there from 1999 to 2001. So right before the end of 12th grade till 2 years after. And there was this real fine girl that worked in the Ticketmaster part, like the customer service. Mm-hmm. And I had got cool with her, so I would ask her, about stuff I was buying. And she crushed my whole shit with the chaps. She's like, why would you buy chaps when you could just get polo?
Yeah.
Could have had a polo shirt. She fucked me up with that.
Yo.
I didn't buy another chaps thing after that, man. But I was like, but it's Ralph Lauren. She was like, yeah, but it's the reason why it's $20 or $30 less than the polo shirt. Fucked me all the way. Oh man.
I remember that. I still wear like the button down ones. Hopefully nobody would see the logo on the side. And I wear like the button downs with like just all different stripes and stuff on there.
Yeah. Hey, hand me the charger. Or no, the one in there. There's one in there. Yeah. So I feel it, man.
I heard that story a couple times. What that meaning of that shirt?
Like I was saying it before Kanye. I'm like, but it's Ralph though,
It's Ralph, yeah. As long as I had that Ralph Lauren on there, man. Shoot.
Yeah, got my wife and Danny Day, aka Caramel Wonder, in here hating because I said the girl was real fine. So let me jump to the next question. I'm trying to get shout. Oh man. All right. So back in the day, because we're talking late 90s, early 2000s, right? What was the shoe from back then that was like an L for back then where you never was just able to get them?
I remember those after the 14s, after Jordan retired, there was a lot of people wearing those. Eddie Jones had his shoe. Those Team Jordans that was coming out. And I want to say Kevin Garnett was on Jordan brand too, and it was a shoe he was wearing that I could never get, and I always wanted that shoe. But I like that Eddie Jones where it kind of looked like the 14, but it's kind of like a derivative of how the 14 is. But that was one of the shoes because I was still trying to play basketball, different things like that. I wanted that shoe, but I never could get it though.
Yeah, because he had a couple. If it's the one that looked like the 14, I think you're talking about the Swift 6. I think it was his last shoe. Had like a zipper on it or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
That's another shoe. Like I got it when it retroed, because I was working for Hibbett Sports at the time. I was a store manager for them, and it's another shoe. Like I got it kind of just to have it, but I've never actually worn it. The only Eddie Jones shoe I really show any love to is the Pro Quick.
Okay.
Because I remember when that shoe came out, and a lot of people don't know. A lot of people in this chat are older, so y'all will remember. But until retros came out in 1999, Team Jordans were just as big of a deal as Air Jordan.
Yeah, they were hard to get, and they were just as popular because you would You know, you would see them on the court, and they wouldn't come out as often as they do now. That's why I tell a lot of my friends that you know, talk about shoes. Is like, you know, Jordans used to didn't like the release dates were not like, we didn't have the dates. You know, we would see,
5 a year.
yeah, we would see like Jordan on TV. I remember seeing Jordan in the All-Star game when he had the playoffs on, but they didn't come out till way late. I was like, what shoes are they? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and I would always see. I remember when even back in the day when he wore like the Aqua Eights in the All-Star game, and then he wore them in the playoffs. I would always kind of see like what shoes does he have on, but like they weren't coming out like, you know, the very next day, or nobody had them super early or whatever like that.
Nah, like I was never, and people are gonna look at me crazy. Hopefully, I don't lose some people when I say this. I was never a fan of them having two playoff shoes. You know, and they started that with the 12. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah. Okay.
home flu game for away, and you know, I never was a fan of that. Just one shoe, man. Niggas only got
Yeah.
so much money, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
And the crazy thing is I think it was '98 when he was wearing the playoff 13, and he switched to the 14, but it wasn't out yet. And I was like, what shoe is that? You know, and a lot of people remember
yeah,
that 14 wasn't out yet. Everybody was still on the playoff 13. And when he switched, you know, I was like, those are the type of moments that I like remember, as far as like, you know, seeing Mike. And that was always a big thing, like seeing what shoes he's gonna wear.
yeah. And we were fortunate that last repeat was the 9th, 10th, and 11th grade for us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Really fortunate. A lot of people didn't get to see that. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like the black and red 13, for as great as it is, it kind of got overshadowed by the 14.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, because that last shot, you know, when
yeah,
he hit that shot, and it was like, and you see that shoe, it was like, oh man, what? I know I was glued to the TV. It was like, what shoe is that? You know, and I just remember him wearing the playoff 13s like a couple games prior. So
yeah. All the home games, he would wear that.
yeah,
Wear the red 13 until he broke out those 14s, because he also wore it in the '98 All-Star game. Just like
yeah,
I was reading somewhere where in '97 he was supposed to wear the Obsidian 12 for the All-Star game, but Tinker, I guess, they had showed him what the playoff 12 was going to be, and he just
mm-hmm.
started wearing
He
it.
loved it. Yeah, I remember that. I remember when the Obsidians came out too. I didn't have those, but I remember some of the guys on the basketball team having, some of the younger guys having them. I was like, man, what shoe is that? You know, I was still looking and seeing what shoes they were. I couldn't get them.
I'm like, is it blue? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm
Like,
like,
is that? And then with the white laces, I was like, what shoe is that? You know, so
yeah, I remember it. And the white and red one, the cherry, back, oh, geez, they came out the same day back in the day.
oh
That's the only time I remember that happening, where they had, going back to, you know, they used to do that back in the day, but in the later days, that's the only time I remember two Jordans coming out one day. So I do remember that randomly, you know.
that's crazy.
Okay.
People go crazy nowadays if that happens. Like if something like that they go crazy.
I'd be mad, man. Like, you know, come out with Kraft ones and the LeBron 19 on the same day.
Yeah.
Like $400. Shit. You know what I'm saying?
They had that LeBron restock the other day,
Yeah,
and I was fortunate enough to get one of those LeBrons, but I missed the 19, and I wanted that 19 because you see how it's like kind of tears away or rips away or something like that. Yeah, the chosen ones. I was like, man, those are nice. And I didn't think I was gonna like the 19 like that, but when I saw like how that colorway and everything that came with it, I was like, yeah, I'm hoping that try to comes back. So.
Now, two more questions before we jump to halftime.
Okay.
Now I'm learning, Riley. Shout out to my boy, Real Big Al Kicks. Well, where were you copping your sneakers from back in the day?
Man, yeah, in Goldsboro, we didn't have like any of those mom and pop type shops. If you couldn't get it from Foot Locker, there was like I don't think it was a Finish Line, but it was Foot Action, from where Foot Action used to get everything. And I had a friend that worked there. He was like he couldn't get anything from me, but they would get like that was like one of the it seemed like that was one of the top tier stores. We had like that one mall, and there was like they had like a small Foot Locker. They had like another like little shoe show. That was a place where my mom could take me, and I tried to get her to take me to Foot Action because it was like real cool. That was like that's where they had everything kind of set up. But I remember when I did get those shoes in '96, those the ones that Derek Fish used to wear. I got those from the Foot Locker. But if we wanted to get like some good shoes or like find a different store, we had to go to Smithfield to the Nike outlet, and you had to go. You can find some stuff in there. You could definitely find some gems in there. So that was a place like when I finally was able to I was a little more mobile, had my own car, or I would catch a ride with my friend. We try to go to the Polo outlet, but the Nike outlet was like we'd go. That's be the place you go before school started to get your school shoes, and like Christmas, you get another pair of shoes. My mom was down for that, so I
For
could
sure.
always get a good pair of Nike. Like some of the trainers, like the Bo Jacksons and stuff like that. We can definitely get some of those out there.
Yeah, man. Like I worked for Foot Action in 2003 and 4 before they went bankrupt and Foot Locker bought them. So
Hmm.
when I remember how Foot Action was before it was a Foot Locker thing, and I mean we used to get a lot of like our own colorways of Dunks, Force
Yeah.
Ones. We had
Hmm.
the bunch of Penny Fours, like a lot of good stuff. And after Foot Locker bought it, it just was never the same.
It's never the same, man. I was telling a friend like that Foot Action, man. I remember when it first opened, it was like different. They had the music playing. It was
Mm-hmm.
kind of catered and everything. Like they meet you at the door and everything. Like, they like check out the new Air Jordans and like they were trying to get people to take those Jordans and different shoes off the shelves, man.
Yeah, it was. I always looked at it, and I mean, Foot Locker tried to keep that going, but it just wasn't the same. Where Foot Action was a chain, but it was still. I hate to use the word hip, but it was a little more hip, a little more trendy, a little more
Hmm.
urban, but still a chain at the same time. It wasn't
Yeah.
stripes of Foot Locker. It wasn't the blue shirt and the tights people wear, finish line. It was a little different, and I used to really like going to Foot Action. I mean, that's why I ended up working there for
There was another store. It's called the Athlete's Attic.
Athletic
Back in
Attic. I remember that.
Athletic Attic, yeah,
Yeah.
Athletic Attic. They used to have some. We used to get a lot of like team basketball shoes from there too, but they
Mm-hmm.
used to get like some different stuff too, like they with the Griffies and different things like that. A lot of kids get like some of the trainers and different stuff from there. That was another store we had too.
Yeah, I remember they went out of business right before the millennium.
Yeah.
Because we had a little lick, me and my friend, where they were liquidating everything, and the people who worked there didn't care. So we was getting shoes for $20, $15. I still got
That's
my
crazy.
Jordan 3% from that. The Michigan.
Dang.
So,
Yeah.
Team Jordans, they was raw. I don't care what nobody say. You know, I know in certain groups when I post my shoe on Facebook, I know I'm gonna get some hate, like, "Oh, you wearing the Mexican Mikes?" And like, man, no, man, I'm the old dude now. Like, you kids don't know what you're talking about.
And a lot of them don't know, man. I see stuff now. I be like, man, people don't know, like, how sneakers used to be, man. They think it's limited now. Yeah, I'll tell you a story real quick. My wife, she's a school counselor,
Okay,
and she had a student in the office actually today. This is today, and I guess he got like the cool gray 11s, and he was thinking that was the first time that they've ever came out with that color. And he was like, he was like talking her to it. So I got a phone call, and it was her. She was like, "Can you tell him that these cool gray 11s have been out multiple times?" And like, and when I told him, he was so shocked to know that like they've already been out maybe two times already. Those
yeah,
are the retro of the retro type of thing. So it was just like just how kids are these days. He was thinking like the Cool Gray 11s. This was the first time that color has ever been out. So.
yeah. Yeah, like I told a kid at work the other day because we were talking sneakers and he didn't know, and I'm like, 11s used to be 125 for like a long
Yeah.
time. And he's like, what 11 125? I'm like, yeah, man, that's how it was back then. But good times, good times. Well, before we go into halftime, let me ask you this: what's the early sneaker purchase of yours that you regretted like a little bit after you got it? Like, man, why?
Man, the LeBron 18,
Hmm.
the Stewie. And I say that because I got it early off of GOAT, thinking that yeah, this gonna be, when I get this shoe, it's gonna be like yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be good. Like ain't nobody gonna have it. And I know I think I even had mine before Chilltown had his pair, and I was like, but then when I looked at the price, like how much I paid for it because it wasn't out in the States, it was out like overseas, and you had to get it off of GOAT. And I remember ordering off GOAT, and it took a while to get here. And I remember like, when I get that, I was like, those are gonna be nice. But then to see them now, it's like the value of it. I tried to wear it one day. It was like, nah, it's not gonna be good. But I'm gonna keep it because I like the colorway. I like the thing behind it. But I wish I would have waited and not being so you know that was one of the purchases. I was like, I should have just waited. I love the shoe. I should have just waited.
Yeah, I ain't gonna cap. Like since they restocked them, like they just sitting. Like I can use them with my out, get them for forever.
Yeah, yeah,
I wish I liked them. I wish they was a Stewie 6. If that was a Stewie LeBron 6, that would be a whole different
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
But
yeah. That's a different story. Yeah,
yeah,
but that I was like,
this.
cause then just to see that colorway on the shoe and just being able to get it, cause that Stewie 6 is like unattainable, so to speak, for me anyway, unless they release it some kind of how. But it was just the fact of just the hype around it. I think a lot of people were so excited to see the colorway because they wanted the 6. But all right, we'll take the 18 low and but and then when just the way it did, I used to love the shoe. I love the colorway and everything, but how it kind of flopped for me.
Yeah, LeBrons are always a gamble. Like I've been talking a lot of shit. Where I'm like, I put my LeBron collection up with anybody's, which I still will, just being from Cleveland, being from Northeast Ohio, I done touch Glorias and all kinds of shit. So, you know, um,
Whew, good
it's
grief.
it's it's tough. It's tough with LeBrons because there's certain ones where you could look at it like, yeah, those could be something, but it's so many of them that's supposed to be something that end up just
That
not being nothing. Like
yeah.
I remember when the LeBron 11 2K14. Remember they had
Mm-hmm.
that if you unlocked the game and it was worth something, and that shit dropped to the point where you get a pair of
Yeah.
at one point. It's
Yep.
different post pandemic. They probably done went back up, but
Is that the
they
one with that had the print on it, like the little cheetah print on it too? Yeah, yeah. I had a pair of those 11s. They just didn't feel right on me. I think it was the Miami Knights, and I want to say I sold them, but they just didn't feel right on my foot.
nah, it was like an acquired taste, like beer before a shoe fit. Like the 11
Yeah.
Elite were much better than the regular 11s. I will
Hmm.
say that, but it's one of them where I mean, shit, he didn't even wear it that much.
Yeah, no. I
So,
think for me the most comfortable one for me was the 10.
oh, that's the best LeBron ever.
That 10, it feels. I love the way it feels. That's like one of my favorite ones.
Like, I wish I had more Nike ID pairs than I have. Like, I love
Mm,
the 10. It's the LeBron that I have the most pairs
that's
of.
that's the era, man. When you could ID.
Yeah, like
I
it's
love that. I
the
wish I
10.
would have just. I wish I just went in and just ID some of everything, man. Like between Kobe's and LeBron's and everything like that. But I didn't.
For Kobe to mean as much to me as he does, one of my biggest regrets sneaker wise is that I never made an ID Kobe. My wife even
Mm,
had Kobe's, but I never
I
made.
I have I have one that I got that I had gotten. I think it may have been the 10. I got it right when my youngest son was born. I got his name on the back. So
Nice, nice.
yeah.
Oh man. Well, we'll jump to halftime right quick. Now, do you have any questions for me?
Um, I know you got it all, man. Shoot, what's your favorite silhouette? Like, what's your favorite shoe? Any sneaker that you hold near and dear.
Just one?
I say your top three.
Um, my wife just rattled off three. That's funny. Um,
The
the
knowledge.
Converse
She just
weapon.
dropped it off.
Yeah,
Ooh, okay.
yeah. I say the Converse weapon. Um, Look, I'll usually say my normal top five and their specific shoes. I'll say five: the Neon 95,
Mm.
Magic Johnson Converse weapon,
Mm-hmm.
the Chicago 1, the Blue Foamposite,
Mm.
and the Concord 11. Those are
Mm-hmm.
usually my five if I'm picking specific shoes. But
Mm-hmm.
silhouettes, probably the Jordan 6, because that's like the first shoe I ever wanted. Like I had
Mm-hmm.
before them, but that was the first sneaker I ever wanted because my dad, he just looked so fresh. He had the fucking Jordan short set and the hat and the bag. He even had the bag.
Man,
Like I
man.
was like, he's like, I didn't even get them for you, but you can get them tomorrow though. I just got to make sure.
You had to make sure you secure his pad first.
Yeah,
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 that was like you said with that product placement on that, like with those Spike Lee commercials, man. I used to love it, man. Like when with those black cement threes, and then when the sixes came, man, that's crazy, man.
yeah. But yeah, man, it's tough to narrow a silhouette. I will say, just I've spent the last year working for Converse, so
Yeah.
the Chuck has overtook the Dunk as the silhouette that I have the most of, just one shoe. Because it would
Oh,
be,
really? Okay.
yeah, it would be Chucks, then it would be Dunks, then it would be Air Force Ones, then it would be Jordan Ones, and then it just kind of
Mm.
kind of disperses from there. It probably might go to Blazers or something after that, but
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah. So but that LeBron 10 is special too. It's like I've got over 20 of them, like different colors. Like I love that shoe that much. You know, the only thing that's even
Shit.
close to the LeBron 10 in my LeBron collection is I think I've got 16 12s. So 16 or
Wow.
7. So, but again,
What you think? What you think of the sevens or the eights? Like the LeBron 7 and 8. How you feel about that silhouette?
I mean, they're both great. To me, the 7 is what kicked off everything because
Yeah.
1 through 6, as great as some of those shoes are, the colorways, if they were there, they were just, you couldn't get them. Like, you ain't touching no Dunkman 2 or
Yeah.
no Mr. Basketball LeBron 5 unless you know him, people, or So the 7 is what kicked it off. And to me, the Miami, or not the Miami, the red carpet was kind of like a precursor to the South Beach. So to me, they
Mm-hmm.
kind of go hand in hand. I can't really say one is better than the other. I have one more 8 that I have 7s only because of the retros. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh man, we gotta see that LeBron battle with you and Chilltown, man.
man,
That's
because I didn't know Chilltown was a LeBron guy. I didn't even know.
yeah.
But
He's heavy. I don't think he is as heavy as you are with the LeBrons, but he's heavy. I don't know all. I haven't seen all of them, but I know he has some good pieces. Some good LeBron pieces that kind of that I've seen. I know one time he did a live on YouTube, and I think it was him and Cadillac Jackson. He's heavy with LeBron's too, so they were
he's so
kind of showing different. Yeah, they were kind of showing some different ones from like the fours and the fives, and so
big.
that'll be good to see.
And that's what I want to see because again, everybody talk about bring out the LeBrons, but if you just doing Miami LeBrons, you ain't showing me nothing. You know,
Yeah,
see some LeBron 5s. Nobody likes the LeBron 5. I
yeah.
want LeBron 6s. Nobody likes the LeBron 6. It's like an Air Force
Hmm.
One to play basketball in. But
Yeah.
if you're just showing me, all right, the last Cleveland season, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, anybody can do that.
Mm,
And I'm not talking about
yeah.
those guys specifically, but just dudes be talking that, or
That's why I
18.
say, I just want to see it because I have a couple LeBrons, but I'm kind of when he shifted to Miami, that's when he kind of brought my like I have like a six here or there, and but what really caught my eye was that 7, 8,
Yeah.
that those models 7, 8, 9, and then I love the 10. So, but I'd love to see if you got like 20 pairs of 10s. I would love to see the colorways like that you could pull out of that, man. That's crazy.
I'm still looking for more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A couple of them are IDs, but yeah, I love the 10. Like,
Hmm.
I appreciate the 11 more now than I did when it came out because I had that same thought. The first few pairs I got, I say the King's Pride, I just got my regular size, and I'm like, nah, fuck that. I got to go up half
Yeah.
the size.
Yeah. I learned my lesson with LeBron's when I got the Taxi 9 to
The
just go yeah, that because if you wear them for a long time it just kind of starts to hurt a little bit, so I always go a half size up on
mm-hmm.
those.
Now, before we go into the third quarter, I do want to say this, and I'm gonna sound like a hater, right? Now, you remember the Elite series,
Hmm.
you remember the EXT series.
Yeah.
Now, I appreciate the Elites for what they were, and I have a lot of them, but it's no
Hmm.
reason that fucking LeBron's cost 275, 295 for some extra carbon fiber on the side. They don't feel the different on your foot. Now the 11 was better, but like the Elite 10, like I got the superhero ones,
Hmm.
sprites, like they don't feel any different on foot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
At least with the 9 and the 11, they kind of reworked the shoe a little bit, where it was the shoe, but it looked a little different.
Yeah,
And
and they gave you that different side panel on there
yeah,
with from the regular from the elite ones. Yeah, I like that.
but
Cause that taxi was an elite one, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was the first one.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I miss I could do without the elites. I miss the EXTs. I really
Hmm.
love the EXT basketball shoes. The Kobe's,
Yeah.
the LeBrons, the KDs.
Those
I,
Kobe's, man. I love those Kobe's, man. That was a good. That was kind of what brought my love back. That Nike basketball era. That I think it was like
yeah,
2012, 2014. That time frame was good for me. Like as far as for like Nike basketball.
yeah. To me, from 2010, from South Beach and the Grinch, because they came out
Hmm.
within a month and a half of each other. From
Yeah,
that
it's
point
true.
on until I'm gonna say the 2015 All Star game that they
Hmm.
had at Barclays. From that period of time,
Yeah.
Nike basketball was bigger than Jordan, except for the
Hmm.
Holiday 11.
Hmm.
People was checking for KDs, LeBrons, and Kobe's more than they was checking for Jordans. I don't care what nobody.
Exactly.
Anybody got?
Exactly. I love those. KD had a good run, man. He really had a good nice little run. But
Yeah,
I still like a lot of his shoes, but that KD 6 was different, man.
the 4 too. You know,
Yeah, the 4, yeah, yeah,
the 5 was okay. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying, and the 7 was a good shoe. It would have
The
been better.
7, I like. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They had that strap on there. Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah,
6 felt like a regular tennis shoe. It was so light and it was low, and I just love the way you could wear it. I just love how you could just style it.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into the third quarter, which is sneaker presence. It's everybody's favorite parts.
Mhm.
All right. So I know you touched on it earlier, but where is your main go-to get sneakers now?
Goat is like my main. If I don't hit it on the release and it's a shoe that I like really have to have. If the sneakers app let me down or if all the raffles let me down, I either go to Goat. If it's something that I wanted like from like if it's like a reach back, I can find something good on eBay. That's kind of been something good. I don't do stock. I've done StockX one time, but I mainly kind of like sold stuff on StockX because you get your money back a little faster for some reason. And this I've tried to sell on Goat. And just the time frame it's kind of hard, with that. But Goat's kind of been they've really been clutch for like the pandemic for different things that I really want. Um, but I do pretty good on the sneakers app for the most part. Um, cook groups kind of help too. So that's been a lot of, finding some discords, especially one that's like, it's not expensive, maybe like $20 a month. And you can find like a good marketplace where they might have something where you have some good sellers, different things like that. But if I'm raffled out, I'm using all the flex. I don't mess with flex because I don't think I've ever hit on a flex out, man. With the way the points and everything, even with the new system, if I might do a finish line. I might look up, like, even sometimes I've got my wife in the sneakers a little bit, and she'll try, like the other day for those sixes. I was home. I was just kind of chilling, and she was like, "Hey, I just got a notification." I was like, "For what?" My phone wasn't near me, and she was like, "Those sixes," and it just stuff like that. So, but if it's not sneakers app, I might look on Goat or like third party stuff like that. But it's good to have friends that know that you're in the sneakers. Sometimes I might have a friend of mine kind of be like, hey, you want me? I'll try to get 3 or 4 people to try for me for a certain shoe that I really want, stuff like that. But mainly, I think, let's see if I can, when I get a lot of these right here from Goat, I always keep, like, the Goat verified thing. So that's like the most places where I go to get, like, if I want to shoot that I really really want.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had like a good thing that I would say too is, like, by being a season ticket holder with the Hornets, they in the fan shop for like some of the Jordan releases, they do a raffle. They have a raffle in store for certain releases, not all, but for whatever shipments they get in. And a good thing about that, if you're in the top 10, you guarantee the size for the most part, and you get like 15% off. So
Nice.
I think, that's, I think, I try to enter those. I think like last year when the University Blue Jordan ones came, I ended up hitting on the sneakers app, I think, and then I got a pair there too. So that was sometimes they do different things like that. So that's pretty cool.
And what size are you?
11. I'm at 11.
Yeah, I'm 11 through 12. If you ever want to big go, T Bars, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ended up selling one of those pairs. I kept one and sold another, but that was one of the times where I was lucky. That was like a come up for me to be able to get that Jordan 1 for a 15% discount, and
Yeah.
to get a hit online. So they do pretty good. I think I've gotten a couple of things through that raffle system that they got going over there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, the one that I need the most, unattainable one, I should say, at least. I really need that first UNC one, the one from
Mm,
2015, because
hmm
the store I was running at the time, every other store in the company got them but my store. So
mm.
by the time I got off, everybody had sold out, and I need them. I had a chance to get them before the pandemic for 300, and I was like, God, man, 300 for these, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, now
I wish I could find a
now
pair for 300 now. Shoot.
I was looking for a pair of those Knicks ones
Oh,
recently. Yeah, yeah, and I was looking for those, and I was like, yeah, I was looking at the prices. I kind of just held off, but then now I'm looking at, I'm like, man,
yeah.
I remember seeing the Motorsport fours sitting, and I just kind of breezed across them on Goat and just saw a couple pair, like the pairs. It was like $500-$600 almost.
The white ones?
Yeah, the white ones. They were like $400-$500, and I remember them sitting, and then I was like, I can wait on those, and different things like that. And I was like, but then I'm looking at, like, I had like stuff that I was like, let me reach back and see what those looking like, because I remember those sitting, but like they're sitting for, like, now they're like on Goat for like almost 400, close to $500.
I remember those, like, because those came out April of 17.
Mm-hmm.
They were like a constellation shoe. They had several
Yeah.
constellation shoes. Do you remember the Royal One came out April 1st of 17?
Mm-hmm.
That was the last time the Royal came out. And if you couldn't get those, a lot of people got those fours.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the black and blue 13, the OG low tops.
Yeah.
Those were
Yeah.
out around that time because everybody wanted the Cause 4 and the
Yeah.
Royal One. Those were the two shoes everybody wanted. If you couldn't get them, you got one of these other shoes. And I remember unpacking them for shipment, and they just smelled like glue. Like they weren't even made well. You know what I mean? So I just, I can't even imagine. I mean, it just seems like the primary colors. If a shoe is, and I'm not hating on anybody who likes any of these shoes, because but if it's
Mm-hmm.
like basic colors, it's
Yeah.
like more than elaborate shit. Like you can get a denim
Mm-hmm.
shirt, you know what I mean? But the fucking motorsport for $400, the world coming to
And
G Barsh.
I remember that I remember going. I seen in like it was like maybe Foot Action or something. They were like discount. They had the red tag on them.
Yeah, get them out of here.
Yeah.
159.99. It's supposed
Yeah.
to,
And I was like, oh, I'll pass. I'll get them later.
yeah. I'll tell you another four I'm looking for that is kind of higher than I want to pay is that Dunk from Above four. I got the
Yeah.
low
That's the
side.
blue one, right?
Yeah, the all blue one
Yeah.
made well for
Mm-hmm.
especially for 2016. But
Yeah.
it's just I can't see paying more than like $150 for that shoe. So
Man.
my boy Carl in the comments said, "What's the most you have paid for a pair of shoes resale?" And Keisha said, "Why go for sneakers?"
I think for me, GOAT. I think the options are like the anything that I use a lot of times. I use like GOAT for like some of the reach packs that I want that I can just go and just say, all right, let me look for this, and it's there. And then I love the app the way it's easy to navigate because
Yes.
then I like the way you can find the pairs, and sometimes I'll go and get a used pair and then or I'll go get if it's like brand new, you can see the condition. I love that. You can always see if that's what you're looking for. If you're gonna wear it, especially if it's an older one, if you're gonna wear it, you can at least see the condition of it, before. But I just like the easiness of like the app is real, like other than like like I said, I've used StockX before and they have like all new, but you don't really get to see the actual product like you want to.
Gotcha. And what's the most you paid for a pair of resale? If you don't mind disclosing.
Mo, no, I don't mind. It was the DJ AM dunk, and it's this shoe here. I think I fell in love with this shoe. I was that's when I really was like getting into like the whole dunk wave, SB wave. Like I used to wear dunks like a long time ago, and I used to get clowned for it because they were like, oh, they supposed to be Jordans, but they just But this shoe, I saw this shoe, DJ Dales. He's a YouTuber, and I saw him show this shoe once, and I was like, what shoe is that? And I like to look at get the shoe and just see what the backstory is, and seeing and I'm like in the music, and I was like I remember DJ AM, but I never knew he had like a collab with Nike, and then to find out that there was another shoe that goes with DJ Premier, so I was like, man, that's so dope, and I was able to I
Bless you.
built a couple relationships with some people on Instagram that has like reputable businesses. This guy named 23 Penny that I met. I met him on
I know him.
I bought a couple of shoes off eBay, and then I started talking with him on Instagram. So he had this shoe for a reasonable price, and I think this is the most. Usually, what I'll do, I go to a couple places and I'll have shoes that I'll trade and then add cash, different things. But I think for this shoe, I was only able to. I had to pay straight cash for it. And this DS, I just laced it up because I was gonna wear it, but I hadn't worn it yet. And I got the shoe like last year, I want to say, but it's in like the condition of it. I just love the leather on the inside. Everything about the shoe, it's like one of my favorite shoes that I have in my collection for me. I just like the way it has like the. I know you've seen this shoe like millions of times, but I like how they had like the turntable look on there and just that leather quality on it is. I just love it. Yeah, so that's like the most I paid. And I want to say it was close to it was close at the time. He was selling it for $6.99, but he gave me a pretty good deal on it. It was lower than what he was going for. He made a real good deal. Now I've bought a couple other shoes from him since then too.
So I have a recent regret with that shoe. So I saw him on GOAT in November. It was a pair size 12 with no box for $150. But I
Oh
didn't get them
man,
because I was buying Christmas gifts. So I've always, I remember him being in the commercial with Kobe and Mike Epps for Nike ID
hmm
for, it's a shame that he's no longer with us. Um, but, I've been lucky. So stuff like that, to come around. But that's one of
yeah, yeah.
and I probably should have pulled the trigger on that. But, so I know they go. And hearing you say that, see, my wife was even in the comments, don't blame me for that with the laugh.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yep, Christmas gifts. But
Yeah, man.
it's all good. That's a nice one though. That's a really worthwhile purchase. Props to you.
Yeah, that's a shoe that when I first saw it, and I think I saw him. He was on his just kind of breezing through his YouTube channel one day, and I saw him with it, and I was like, What shoe is that?" Because I didn't know what it was, and I think he kind of mentioned it. I kind of did my research on it, so I was like, "Man, that's dope." And to be able to find it,
Yeah.
yeah. But 23 Printing, he's a good guy, man. I got into like the PE game a little bit, and a little bit. So I've kind of gotten a couple things from him from that too. So.
Hey, you cracked my head with that Kentucky LeBron died. I'm like, the fuck?
Oh yeah.
I've only seen that on court. You know what I mean?
It,
So I props to you for that one. You know what I mean?
it's another guy that's a big LeBron head that's on DJ Dale's channel. His name Ham. His name Ham goes Ham. But I think on Instagram is Ham got kicks, and he doesn't post a lot of like shoes on Instagram, but I've seen him do a couple battles, and I saw him with that Kentucky 9, and he's a little heavy with the LeBrons. Well, he's a big LeBron fan. I think he's from Florida too, but that's the guy I saw with it. Now, if I see a shoe, I try to go, do my research, see where it's, where I could find it. You can always find it on GOAT, but I actually found that on eBay. That was like a good eBay find I had. So
Good.
yeah, that's one of my joints. I said I was gonna. So I was gonna. I want to wear it, but I don't know. I don't get a lot of chances to wear sneakers these days.
Nah, I got you.
Not like not like I used to.
Now, what would you say is
Oh,
what are factors?
somebody said let us see.
Yeah, they might want to say that Kentucky LeBron, man.
All right, let's see. It's right here. Yeah, that's that
Fire.
joint.
Fire. Because they had a black and blue one,
Yeah,
but
they
that's
had a
better.
yeah they have a black and blue 7 too
Mm.
that I like. That it's really nice the way the materials on that 7. I just love the way it shifts the
Yeah,
build on that. But yeah.
that's hot. Now, what would you say are the factors that influence you purchasing a sneaker these days?
um, just if I see like a lot of my shoes nowadays have been kind of like reach backs. I'm in for like the newer stuff, like every now and then if it's something real nice that I might gonna wear. But I'll see like there's a guy named Matt for the Win.
Hmm.
He has a lot of I think on Instagram is Soul Man 183, but he has like a lot of the Diodora, the ASIC, and I think over the last 2 or 3 years, I've gotten kind of more into some of those runner shoes. So if I see a shoe, if I see a battle, and or I see people on Instagram, I was like, what? I just try to inquire like, or like see a shoe, like what shoe is that? Yeah, because growing up, it was just Jordan or Nike for me. That was pretty much, I grew up is either a Jordan shoe, and then when Kobe started wearing the Nike, I didn't like. I have a couple of the Adidas Kobe's, but I didn't really like them like that. But when he got with Nike, I was like, all right, you home now. But so to now to really over the last couple of years, just kind of really kind of dip into other brands. Um, I look at it like you, even since knowing you, just seeing what you have and seeing what other people have, you guys are like influencers. Like, you guys are influencing like other brands to see like even some of those older dunks, even though they're you got finding like a Quagmire dunk SB, stuff like that in good condition. Like even seeing that, I was like, what shoe is that? I wasn't in like that dunk wave and being able to kind of get that. So I, if it's not, I'll know like some of like the Jordan and the Nikes, but the kind of seeing some of the people like representing other brands, is really kind of really opened my eyes and stuff.
Okay, okay. Yes, Shorty, especially with the Converse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I haven't been wearing them as much lately because trying to I'm trying to be more festive with the sneakers. So this month I was trying to wear all my BHMs and some of my favorite All Star sneakers. I wanted to wear
Hmm.
more All Star sneakers, and when I really counted them, I'm like, damn, I got a whole month just for All Stars. So some of these ain't gonna make the cut, but
See, that's crazy.
a lot of them decide. Remember when they came out with the Area 72? They had like a blazer and a vandal, and
Hmm.
like I was just trying to get all of that. If I like the pack, I want to complete the whole pack.
Get the whole thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not doesn't mean as much to me now, but back in the day, yeah, I was bad with that. Like I gotta get the whole fucking
yeah.
pack.
Yeah, there's Matt right there. Soul Man underscore 183.
Luke,
He's like, yeah, he's a big influence, like, for different other brands, like putting respect on like other brands and just opening people's eyes, like, because I never thought I'd be, buying a Diodora shoe or, wearing like a ASIC, stuff like that. But comfort, I think as older I'm getting, I'm not wearing Jordan 12s all day, stuff like that. So to be able to wear, I wore my Diodoras the other day, and it was so comfortable. And just being in, introduced or being open your eyes, like the brand, like I know the brands, like some of the older brands too, and just to be able to see them, that's pretty. That's for me. It's been like, like that's one of the things I've been doing, like with the pandemic, is like reaching back to like different things that I've kind of missed. Because there was some years where I really wasn't buying shoes like that. That wasn't my focus is like on like building a family and different things like that. I was buying shoes, but it's not like buying shoes like, for a collection. I was just buying shoes to wear, or different things like that. So
nah, I get you.
yeah.
I get you. All right. What's the shoe in your collection that you love, but it just didn't age well?
Um, Let me think. Um,
Because I'll say for me,
oh
oh well, yeah.
yeah. Oh,
You,
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
well, no, I always say the first shoe that comes to mind for me is the Griffeys, just because of the paint that they use on the
Mm,
midsole. It's like it's white
mm.
out or something. After about a year or two, it's over. So, well, what were you gonna say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was gonna go. Now that you said that, that's crazy. I'm trying to think. Um, yeah, shoot, I did. Oh,